Okay.
Did you see something in the exhibit that you didn't feel?
No.
I didn't notice it. They caught me off guard.
Mr. Wise, it's time to get started.
They want to sit down.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting for the Board of Education for Laurel Highlands School District. I'd like to have silent meditation and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mrs. Beal.
Mrs. Conway.
Here.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Here.
Mr. DeLongo.
Here.
Mr. Elias. Mr. Colenso.
Here.
Mr. Landman.
Here.
Mr. Meadows.
Here.
Mr. Raymond. Mr. Raymond is absent. There's 8 board members present.
Thank you, Mrs. Beal. Adoption of the agenda with additional custodial substitute.
Make a motion.
Second. Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Recognition of visitors and guests. Is there anybody that would like to speak tonight on any agenda item or any other item? Okay. Thank you. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of February 21st, 2024.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the attendance records of committee meetings and work sessions. Security and Safety and Transportation Committee meeting of March 6th, 2024, and the work session of March 18th, 2024.
I'll move.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. This meeting will be televised on,
It's just live streamed on WMBS Facebook and the Laurel Highlands website.
so it'll just be live streamed on both.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent's report. Dr. Walls?
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. First, I would like to congratulate the girls' basketball team and coaching staff for a job well done this season. They made it through the WPIALs. They dropped one there, and then they went to the PIAAs, did pretty well there. You're talking about a team of 8 girls and not one senior on the team. Coaches did a wonderful job. The girls did a wonderful job. They have a lot to be proud of, and we are proud of them. So congratulations to the girls' basketball. I'd also like to congratulate and give acknowledgement to the cast and crew of our spring musical, both the students that participated and the adults that put everything together, and the musical side of things orchestrated very well. It was a great program. As usual, they knocked it out of the park, so congratulations to them and a job well done. Next, I would like to also congratulate Mr. Stuart Davis. He's a coach of the girls' basketball team. He was elected as Coach of the Year for the 4A classification. So congratulations to Coach Davis for a job well done there. Also, I would like to acknowledge and congratulate the following academic quiz team members. They captured the Tri-County Championship. The Junior Varsity Rossiter, Lola McCluzak, Toby Downs, Elijah McCourt, Ethan Noman, Brady Rasenberg, J.J. Johnson, Brody Baker, Anthony Teich, Jeff Yager, Preston Hill, Crosby French, and Emma Dodola. On the varsity roster, Casey Kowalski, Drew Nicolo, Jackson Wade, Benjamin Prick, Erlen Macheski, Grace Fike, Zoe Kaufman, Carly Lucky, Matt South, and Leo Strabutzel. Congratulations to those individuals. Did I mess up the names? Congratulations to those individuals. Job well done there. And that's if you ever watch them on TV, it's very impressive to see what they do. I don't know that I could compete at that level, or anyone sitting up here could. You do a great job, so congratulations to those students, and that concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
Thank you, Dr. Wallace. Academic Foundation report, Mr. Kalinsik.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. The Academic Foundation would like to say thank you for the support of the Snacks and Chinese auction during the recent school production of The Wizard of Oz. All money earned will be available for awarding $500 innovative teaching grants. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Kalinsik. Comprehensive Strategic Plan, Board Policy, and Public Relations Committee, Mr. Denana.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. Board Policy Committee report under BP, Item 1, Special Education Plan has been updated. It is online for viewing 30 days prior to submission. Next item, BP2, is to approve the revision of employment of athletic coaches policy found in Exhibit A.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
Second.
Our motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That concludes your report.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Denana. Curriculum Committee, Mrs. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. C1, I'd like to put in the form of a motion, the permission to post summer school and ESY positions.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
C2 is informational. LH launched their online kindergarten registration for the 2024-25 school year. Parents can register on our website or scan the QR code on the flyers and signs outside our community. After registering, parents will be contacted by the elementary school to schedule their kindergarten screener, which will take place the first week of May. As a reminder, all children registering for kindergarten must be 5 years old on or before August 31st, 2024. There are no exceptions. C3 is informational. The middle school math club participated in the regional math counts competition against schools in Fayette and Greene County and finished in first place, earning them a spot in the state competition in Hershey, PA on March 23rd. Team members are Noah Hudock, James Buckingham, Matt Dismartin, and Will Sharansky. They took 3 out of the top 4 places in the individual competition. James Buckingham earned first place, Matt Dismartin earned 4th place, and Will Sharansky in 3rd place. Congratulations to the students and teachers. C4 is informational. Congratulations to the high school varsity academic quiz team as they defeated Uniontown for the county championship and Waynesburg for the overall Tri-County Quiz League championship. Casey Kowalski led the way, scoring 50 points, and Drew Nicolo 48 points. The varsity team will move on to regionals on April 3rd at Penn West, California. The varsity quiz team defeated Albert Gallatin for the county championship and Waynesburg for the overall Tri-County League championship. Toby Downs led the way, scoring 40 points, and Elijah McCord 38 points. There are no regional playoffs for JV teams. The academic quiz teams are co-sponsored by Mr. Patron and Mrs. Fennick. C5 is informational. On Thursday, March 21st, the Mini Mighty Mustangs will hold a literacy event for incoming kindergarten students from 5:30 to 6:30 at the high school. The theme is Molly of Denali's The Little Lost Dog. We ask that all participants register via the flyers QR code and Google form on our website. Hope to see you there. C6 is informational. The federal programs coordinators of Fayette, Westmoreland, and Greene County held their annual parent and staff retreat at Lakeside on the 13th of March, 2024. This concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
Thank you, Mrs. Conway. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Mr. Meadows.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. First, I'd like to echo what Dr. Wallace said earlier about the Wizard of Oz at our high school here. I got to go see it on Saturday, and it was amazing. Job well done to everybody involved. Secondly, I'd like to thank Mr. Galino for his report, and Mr. Galino and his staff for their continued hard work here in our district. Moving on to buildings and grounds, number 1 is informational. A grant was received for the Marshall Elementary School generator in the amount of $142,000 from the Scott Foundation in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Buildings and grounds, number 2 is also informational. Repairs to the softball dugouts and areas are being repaired from insurance monies received from damages incurred. That concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
Just one other side item there, Mr. Meadows, if I may, I would like to put out a congratulations to Nick and his team for applying for that grant. As I mentioned earlier, and on many occasions, we do everything we can to apply for any type of grant that fits any of our district's needs. And it just so happens that we ran across this one, and Nick did a great job working with Jason Johns on procuring that money for that grant. So great work, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Meadows and Dr. Walls. Finance, Budget, and Taxation Committee, Mr. Meadows.
Under F1, I'd like to put in the form of a motion the approval of the bank reconciliation and board summary report found in Exhibit B.
I'll second.
Roll call, Kim.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mr. Kalinsik?
Yes.
Mr. Donato?
Yes.
Mrs. Beal?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
Under F2, I'd like to put in the form of a motion the payment of bills found in Exhibit C.
I'll second.
Roll call, Kim.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mr. Kalinsik?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Donato?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mrs. Beal? Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
Under F3, I'd like to put in the form of a motion the payment of GOV bills found in Exhibit D.
I'll second.
Roll call, Kim.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mr. Kalinsik?
Yes.
Mrs. Beal?
Yeah.
Mr. Donato?
Yes.
Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
F4 is informational, the investment report found in Exhibit E. Under F5, I'd like to put in the form of a motion the approval of the federal report found in Exhibit F.
Second.
Roll call, Kim.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mr. Kalinsik?
Yes.
Mr. Lemon?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Donato?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mrs. Beal?
Yeah.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Motion carries.
F6, I'd like to put in the form of a motion the approval of the student activity and athletic funds found in Exhibit G.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows. Health, Nutrition, and Foods Committee, Mrs. Conway.
I'd like to put in the form of a motion FS1, the cafeteria report found in Exhibit H.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
Thank you, Mrs. Conway. Security, Safety, and Transportation Committee, Mrs. Beal.
I need a motion to approve additional drivers for the M&R Transportation Exhibit 1.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. Beal. Human Resources Committee, Mr. Kalinsik.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. Under P1, I'd like to put in the form of a motion to approve the additional substitute teachers found in Exhibit J.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Under P2, I'd like to put in the form of a motion to accept with regret the retirement of Mrs. Mary Ellen Bosley, certified school nurse at the high school, effective June 1st, 2024, with all provisions provided in the collective bargaining agreement. Mrs. Bosley has 23 years of dedicated service to the district.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and I'd like to thank Mrs. Bosley for her 23 years of dedicated service.
Anybody that may have been here through 23 years and worked with Ms. Bosley knows that you will not find a more caring person and a more professional person looking out after the children that are in this building. She's done a great job. She's been here since I've been here as an assistant principal back in 2003 when I came on board, and she's been nothing but excellent every day that I've known her. So those are big shoes to fill. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Under P3, I'd like to put in the form of a motion for the approval of Dr. Jesse Wallace to attend the Superintendent's Forum in Bedford Springs, May 1st through the 3rd, 2024. There is no cost to the district other than mileage and possibly 2 meals.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Under P3 Part B, approval for Jason Johns and 3 staff members to attend the PAFBC Federal Programs Annual Conference, April 14th through 17th, 2024 in Pittsburgh, to fulfill federal program requirements and attend professional development sessions. There will be no cost to the district, as all costs will be paid from the Title I grant.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Under P4, I'd like to put in the form of a motion to approve additional substitute employees for support personnel found in Exhibit J, including Mr. Zachary Livingston as custodial substitute.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Under P5, I'd like to put in the form of a motion to accept the retirement of Mrs. Terry Schaefer, 10.5-month custodian at the high school, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift, effective April 12, 2024, and permission to post the position. Mrs. Schaefer has 18-plus years of dedicated service to the district.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And again, I'd like to take this time to thank Mrs. Schaefer for her 18-plus years of dedicated service to the district.
And under P6, I'd like to put in the form of a motion to approve the paraprofessional update found in Exhibit K.
I'll second it.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And that concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
Thank you, Mr. Kolensik. Athletic and Extracurricular Activities Committee, Mr. Landman.
Thank you, Mr. DeAndrea. Under AE1A, approve Mrs. Taylor Mathers as the middle school girls assistant basketball coach. I'd like to put that in form of motion.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, Kim.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. Kalinsik?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mrs. Beal?
Yes.
Mr. DeNono?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Under AE2A, approve Mr. James Wilkins as the head varsity wrestling coach. I'd like to put that in form of motion.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, Kim.
Mr. Lamon?
Yes.
Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Mrs. Beal?
Yes.
Mrs. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. DeNono?
Yes.
Mr. Elias?
Yes.
Mr. Kalinsik?
Yes.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Yes.
8 yeas.
Under AE3A, accept the resignation of Mr. James Wilkins as a middle school head wrestling coach and post the position. I'd like to put that in form of motion.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Under AE4A, Approved doctors and dentists and ambulance services for the 2024-25 school year. That's under Exhibit L. School dentist would be Dr. Kelly Hostetler at $2,000. That would be carries K 3 and 7. That's at Clark, Hatfield, Hutchinson, Marshall, and Laurel Highlands Middle School. I'd like to put that on the motion.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
The second part of the team physician's assistant and ambulance services. Team physician assistant, Luke Dice, physician assistant, $250 per football home game. Fayette EMS 2024 special event rates. ALS ambulance $175 an hour. ALS ambulance $225 an hour. Put that form of motion.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
The last under A&E informational, the annual school picnic at Kennywood has been set for Saturday, May 4th, 2024. Tickets information is available on display in the buildings and online for purchase for the event. And Mr. Beardy, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb. Legal advisement? Mr. Frankhauser.
Under L1A, approve the actions of the superintendents to furlough for economic reasons and/or reduction of programs. This is something that's put on the agenda yearly. Very rarely, if ever, does that happen, but we have to have the authority in the event that notices need to go out in anticipation of the finalization of the budget. So that is a precautionary motion.
And it also aligns with the collective bargaining agreements on our timelines there too. But on 1A, we want to rest assured that no action will be taken until there's board approval.
Need a motion?
Second.
Yep. Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
L2 is a motion to approve the resolution naming Ken Meadows as the Laurel Highlands School District nominee to the ACSHIC Board of Trustees of the Eastern Region for a 2-year term effective April 1st, 2024.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
We have no grievances at the board level at this point. There is the pending arbitration that we have discussed many times in executive session. Under solicitor's report, just to report that we are continuously monitoring the circumstances regarding the tax assessment appeals that are pending, and we will keep you posted as to any developments in that area. No action has been taken since our last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Frankhauser. Yes, we go to the addendum. Dr. Wallace.
Okay, under the addendum 1A, I'd like the board to consider a motion to accept the resignation of Ms. Tiffany Eicher, 10.5-month custodian at Hatfield Elementary, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift, effective March 14, 2024. Ms. Eicher has 9+ years of dedicated service to the district.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to thank. Good.
I'd like to thank Ms. Eicher for her dedication to the district and a job well done. Thank you. Item 2A, I would like the board to consider a motion to accept the resignation of Ms. Janae Devaney as the head varsity cheerleader sponsor, effective March 20th, 2024.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Proper motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to thank Ms. Devaney for her attention and her dedication to the cheerleading squad. Thank you very much. 3A, I would like the board to consider a motion to accept with regret the retirement of Ms. Lisa Vanek, first grade teacher at Hutchinson Elementary School, effective June 1, 2024. Ms. Vanek has 20 years of dedicated service in the district. It's bittersweet. I've known her since I've been here also. She's an excellent teacher. Our students are the ones that are going to miss out of not having her there, and she's done an excellent job, so congratulations to her on greener pastures. And I'm sure her brother is a little bit bittersweet that he has to stay here and work, and she doesn't.
But very
we're still glad
proud,
to
very
have her.
proud of her.
Motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
With
second.
regret.
Proper motion has been made and seconded. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank her for her service. That concludes the addendum, Mr. DeAndrea.
Thank you, Dr. Walls. General matters, Career and Technical Institute report, Mr. Meadows.
We have a couple of upcoming events at Fayette CTI. On March 25th, it's from 6 to 8, there is a Chocolate Easter Bunny class. Also, we have on March 27th, from 6 to 8, we have an Easter flower basket class. And on April 8th, from 6 to 8, there is a painting class for adults to bring their children or grandchildren along and have an interactive painting experience taught by the instructors at Fayette CTI. And that concludes my report, Mr. DeAndrea.
We do have
Thank
a
you, Mr.
negotiation session tomorrow at 10 o'clock with the instructors at the CPO.
Thank you. Intermediate Unit Report. The Intermediate Unit 1 2024 State of the Intermediate Unit 1 is being held on Tuesday, March 26, 2024, featuring a buffet-style dinner at 6:30 p.m. It will be held at the Hilton Garden Inn at Pittsburgh South Point, Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. Student showcasing from participating districts will be held from 1 to 6 p.m. and in-person voting for the IU1 Board of Directors will take place from 1 to 6 p.m. That's informational. Any other business? Any other public comment? Any? Just can you excuse me? Hold on. Could you state your name and come over to the podium and your address? He's gonna come. He's gonna hit the button for you. Oh, here's something. Okay.
We're going to hit a button so everyone can hear you.
Okay.
Hopefully. Okay.
My name is Sherry Pitts. I am Kendra Pitts' mother. My address is 355 Virginia Circle, Uniontown. And I just, there's been some issues going on, not just with my daughter, with many other children, that I kept my daughter away from the situation, which ended up turning into involving my daughter, to where her life was threatened in school with a
Excuse
knife.
me. We are going to get into any kind of discussion regarding a minor in the school district and/or any employee of the district. We need to refrain from that, only because of the privacy issues, and to assure you that those items have been discussed in executive session and are going to be handled internally, both by the high school administration and the central administration, and actions. I think I know what you're talking about. The actions that have occurred, and to avoid unnecessary invasion of anybody's privacy, we can't allow that to be discussed in front of the board. And additionally, because if there ever has to be any kind of disciplinary action that would come to the board level, the board would have to act as the arbitrators and judge and jury to determine any discipline that could occur, and therefore discussion at this point would be prejudicial to that occurrence. So we do understand, and Dr. Walsh, you could add to this, the concerns. They're not being taken lightly, and they are being addressed by both the high school administration and the central administration. We understand that, and that's what I'm talking about. We have to handle that internally with the privacy issues that deal with not only the students that are involved, but any other student. Correct. Well, excuse me, you can come up and speak when you want to, but in a general matter, as long as it's not going to direct any information to any individual student or employee of the district. In general, yes, you can speak to them.
Who are we supposed to speak to about it? Because every time you call, you can't talk to anybody.
I'm sure Mr. Diamond's here this evening. He can speak to that as well as the central administration.
I spoke with Mr. Diamond, and it seems like it gets nowhere.
Well, that's a subject to further discussion.
Well, I mean, what's your definition of nowhere? I mean, what has
There's
not?
no proof.
There's what?
There's no proof. There's no, I can't help you, but I can go to the state police and they can help me. So why can't I go to my daughter's school?
I think we have acted appropriately and steps have been taken.
I mean, from what I hear of, it's not, so.
Then maybe we're talking about two different episodes that are two different situations.
No, I emailed you about it all.
Okay, well, then, that issue has been handled.
So I don't have to worry about it no more with any of these kids that don't want to go to school.
To my knowledge, our buildings are safe. You're not going to have a problem coming to school. Nobody is.
All right, well, so who do I contact in the future? Because I have a thousand.
Your direct level of contact is with the administration at the high school, who then would contact and develop the plan not only with the principals themselves, but the guidance counselors, the teachers, and ultimately Dr. Wallace,
Okay, so who do I contact first?
the principal.
The principal.
Yes,
And then if it's not taken care of, then where do I go?
Dr. Wallace.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Is there a question, I guess the part I heard, is there a question just about the bullying program itself? Because I'm sure we could have Mr. Diamond explain that to you, how that is supposed to work. Mr. Diamond, would you mind explaining how the bullying program, briefly, not, yes, just explain the bullying program, if they have a bullying complaint, how they go about making that, and then what steps would happen at the high school?
Yes, typically, anytime a student complaint is made, we talk to the students involved. Parents make complaints as well, or you can address concerns. We talk to the students involved. We talk to students who are around, may have heard it. And our first line of defense is trying to get the action to stop. So we talk to the students involved. If it's serious enough that the students aren't complying with what we're asking, we will contact the parents. But typically, once we talk to the students, a lot of them, probably, well over 90-95% of them do adhere to what we're asking them to do. But the biggest thing is if somebody's bothering somebody, they have to get to an adult in the building. It could be, sometimes it's custodian, sometimes it's cafeteria lady, sometimes guidance counselor, teacher, administrator, aide, it doesn't matter, but they want to make sure that an adult in the building is aware of what's going on. A lot of times, I'll hear from parents that this has been going on since kindergarten. Well, unfortunately, if it hasn't stopped since kindergarten and you haven't been able to stop it, it's hard to stop it at the high school, when we just found out about it from last week. These things sometimes take a long time to stop. But the biggest thing is we ask the students to make sure they are doing their part and avoiding that person and not feeding back into the comment if they are making comments to them. In general.
So basically, you can, if you have a teacher that you can confide in, you can go up and talk to them, and then they can make the bullying complaint. Would that be correct? If you don't want to approach your principal and anybody at the high school, and they can help you fill out the bullying complaint, and then it would go through the process. You don't necessarily have to go to Mr. Diamond or Mr. Kalich or any particular teacher, but usually each student will have somebody in the building that they can confide in, and that would be the person I would suggest going to. But it doesn't any way preclude going to Mr. Diamond. That would be the best, to go directly to him. But is that correct?
And I think overall, the biggest thing is if you have a bullying incident and your child is being bullied, you need to let us know. We can't read minds. As long as if it's reported, you'll get some action from the administration. understandably.
Absolutely. Discipline does not change for students.
No.
It's been all been issues with the school. If you don't want to talk about it, because it involves one person, it's involved in the education, which I understand is legal. But that's a problem when our kids can go to somebody in the education.
The parameters that we're working within now would be the same for anybody. It's not just because it's one individual. The stance that Mr. Frankhauser just gave you would apply to anyone. It doesn't make a difference
And I
of who it
understand that
is.
there's been multiple reports about the same person, and some of the complaining girls have been moved about the same person. That's a problem.
My good luck and the parents to the parents that you were scared to come forward.
One specific person.
Well, I can tell you that steps have been taken to alleviate that issue.
Now, I do have another question. I get it. I'm really concerned also, even if that specific person doesn't come back, I don't want my daughter treated differently because I spoke up.
Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not.
There's no retaliation.
No. There's not a problem with that at all. Or for the lady beside you. That's not what, look, bottom line here, we're all in this to keep kids in school, not out of school. And we're taking the steps to do that. And I can tell you as a leader of the district, I don't care who the person is, employee or no employee, a person that's outside the district or a parent within the district, we're going to do what's right here. That's the bottom line.
We appreciate that.
I don't know how long the issue's been ongoing. I don't live with you guys. I don't know. But we don't know until we're told.
Right. Well, I did step in contact with you guys first before I even did anything else, because I figured that I would just keep it quiet, and it seemed like it wasn't working out that way. Like I was just like called a liar, pushed aside, and my kid didn't matter.
You didn't get called a liar from me or anyone in the district.
Well, Mr. Duncan said that there was no proof, so that pretty much beat this.
But I was told last
Well, that was part, let's stop that. We're getting a little too far here. It's getting beyond the privacy that we need to protect. I can assure you that beyond the initial investigation, additional investigation was conducted and appropriate measures were taken.
We are here for you also, all board member. Joe was a former state police officer, got a health position here, different people that we're here for the kids. We're not here for anything else. That as a board member, we don't always hear what's going on. But we're here for you and your children. I worked long, lot of years in the high school with the kids as chief of security. And I'll tell you, I love every kid there is. Even though I don't know your child, but we're here as a board. We're here for you. We're not here for anything else. Right.
Well, actually, right on the website, it has all of our emails
Yeah.
under the school board. And I can tell you from the investigative standpoint, not this particular one, but in an investigation, it's got to run its course. At the beginning of the investigation, some facts appear to be one way, but when you conclude your investigation, that's when you find out actually the true story, we'll say, because it takes time to evaluate facts, the physical evidence, and come to determination of fact that you're going to be willing to hang your hat on, would say. In the private sector, in the police thing, is before you take the charges, because you have to swear to those charges. Before you do anything like that, and before Mr. Diamond could come to a conclusion, there's got to be a thorough investigation, and he's not going to, I don't believe he can reveal that investigation to you because it involves a minor. So there's two different courses here that you're talking about. But from my private business, whenever I was with the state police, I know I had a lot of investigations that led one way, but when you evaluated the facts and the physical evidence, didn't ring true, we'll say. And then that's when you find the truth, and that's what you have to be based on. So it's unfair for someone to tell you something at the beginning of an investigation, because then if they're the person they should be, and they come back to you and say, I made a mistake, you don't want them to say, well, accuse your child of something without having the facts. It's aggravating, it's tedious when you're doing the investigation, and as a victim or a person in the investigation, sometimes it's a long, drawn-out process, and you don't understand, but you want the facts to be all evaluated and a true conclusion made based on the facts. You don't want somebody unfairly singled out just because of innuendo or social media. So, or their position, absolutely.
I did have proof, and I did go ahead and go my way, which I really apologize if that visible around and everywhere, but I'm protecting my daughter and other children that don't deserve to be treated as well.
We understand.
We're doing the same thing.
Anybody else? Okay. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Second.
Proper motion been made and seconded. Any question on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.